Welcome to Quarter Circle Jerks. So, yeah, I'm going to do what I did previously, and I showed off previously, with a brand new Switch 2 dock from Nintendo themselves. I'm going to show you everything I did here, and a little bit more. In fact, I'll probably be taking this one apart as well, and let me get into that. So first off, typically speaking, you'll have the front fascia that says Switch 2. This prevents you from being able to just, come in from this angle and set the Switch 2 down, and makes you put the system down vertically between essentially these two pieces. Okay? First off, I wanted to go ahead and build it like this because where my Switch 2 is placed, I don't have the ability to have vertical space to set the system down. But more importantly, number two is, I don't know if I'll be able to see, I put my Switch 2 in ridiculously gingerly. Okay? I'm talking about like concentrating way too much to put it down. And in the short amount of time that I was using that, you already have these vertical scratches. Now, luckily I had a Gorilla Glass screen protector on mine, so I didn't see any physical damage on the Switch itself. But this is what it's going to be doing to your screen eventually, or the console shell, or whatever, eventually. I don't understand. I tried posting this. On YouTube I got a good reception, but on Reddit I got a bunch of angry Nintendo nerds coming at me saying I was stupid for doing this. And yeah, well, I'll see you in a year when your screen is all scratched up and mine isn't. Anyway, if you're wondering why this piece here is broken off, it's simply because of the fact that I have this one ready to go to have the power light installed. This piece, being that it's flipped like this, okay, that piece is down here. And that screws into this bottom fascia. That is what holds in the power LED light, which is connected to a ribbon cable, which is connected to the PCB that's back here. Without that, you won't have a power light. Now, it runs just fine. Currently, I don't have a power light installed on this, but it'll run just fine. What I'm going to be doing, because I damaged my power cable when I was disassembling the first time, because everything in here is quite fragile, you have to be careful. I'm going to be taking the power light from this and putting it in here, being that this fascia is already broken to, be ready for that power cable. And then this one will be my secondary dock for the den, the living room, in which this will just be basically like this is right now, but without that front part installed. It'll just not have a power light. It is what it is. If you are wondering, it does come with a charger, and it does come with an HDMI cable if you do get a secondary dock. These are $119 free shipping from Nintendo. So all the people trying to sell their used ones to you on eBay for like $150 are screwing you over. So that being said, we're going to be taking apart both these docks today. I won't need these two pieces here, but I'm just going to set them off to the side. And we have a drink, which will be great because I'm going to be talking a lot. If you're wondering what you need, I would definitely recommend an iFixit kit, just like this. This will give you all the appropriate sized tri-wing and Phillips drivers that you need, and pretty much any console that you'll be taking apart from now into the future, this will do you. It's about $39.99, I believe, at a Home Depot, at my local Home Depot, at least it was. Probably about the same on Amazon or wherever you choose to buy your stuff. So you have a normal, and then you have a telescopic bending one as well, but we won't need that here. So let's get this unboxed. See what this looks like inside. Obviously, the one that I have now came with the system, so I'm not entirely sure how this is all packed up in here. Move the camera for you. Okay. Safety information, who cares? HDMI cord. Nintendo power brick. And USB-C. And then in here, we have our new dock. And it's exactly what you think it is. So let's get into tearing this apart. It's been about a week or so since I've done the initial mod, so I might not remember everything right off the rip, but it's fairly straightforward. Keep in mind that it can be a bit of a bitch. So first thing you want to do is take off the back cover. That's easy enough. That's interesting. That feels different. This feels heavier. Weird. Maybe the design has changed a bit since then, I don't know. I would put this on something soft so you don't scratch up the front fascia if you ever want to use it again. You can just use something like this, or a t-shirt, or whatever. So let's go into the first step here, which will be picking a tri-wing. Okay. You'll want to support with your fingers between that slot because this gives really quick. The size tri-wing that I'm using is a Y1 right now, so keep that in mind. I like to lay out the screws roughly in the same shape as where they are here. I'm gonna go ahead and, oh great, I think that one just fell in there. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and move the camera here for you guys so you can see better. All right, that should be good. So we have one here, one here, one right here. Like one in each of these corners here. And again, this is super flimsy plastic. You will have to lift up very firmly. You may either crack or break the plastic if you're not pulling up, because this really is not strong. You want to keep pretty good pressure down on the driver when you're using this. You can strip out these tri-wing screws pretty easily. This metal they used is very soft. I almost stripped one on my first deck, and it's definitely something to be mindful of. And right down in this channel, you can see right there, you have one here. Okay, now right off the rip it looks like you're done, but you are not. You have one here, one here, one here, and one underneath each foot. And this is this is the one I almost stripped out before. Let me see if a different sized bit will do better. Okay, yeah, this one is better. This one in particular, I don't know why, but this one screw is in tighter than all the other ones. Sorry about that. Trying to focus. There we go. So this new size is a Y0. So I would actually recommend using the Y0 size. I'm just doing the last screw here on the bottom left right here, or bottom right, sorry. Now, for the feet, get yourself a knife. You want to just get it started. And it'll peel up. It's just adhesive underneath. Put that somewhere, not on cloth, but like on the edge of a counter or something with only part of it sitting on the counter, and it will keep its stickiness. And then you can just put it back on when you're done. That's what I would recommend. The adhesive is very strong, so you shouldn't have an issue. Now, maybe if you opened this up a few times, that would wear down, but I highly doubt it. Ooh. Flinging stuff all over the place. Where'd that foot go? There it is. All right. You thought you came here for professionalism. Definitely not the case. So, put your knife away. Put that off to the side. Now, allegedly, your switch 2 dock is ready to be opened. So what you want to do is you're taking off this collar here, essentially. Oh, I didn't even take out these screws. Derp. I'm like, man, this doesn't feel very loose. So yeah, take out the screws that you just exposed from the feet. Again, keep your screws organized. These are different lengths throughout. And trust me, speaking from experience, you will not remember which ones are which later on, and it'll be a lot of trial and error, and that's not fun. So, like for example, this one is way shorter than all the other feet screws for no reason. Don't know why. Okay, so now it should be good. Yep, see how that comes right off, just like so. So if you're wondering why this wasn't coming off easily before for you, that is why there's screws holding it down. If that doesn't come off super easy, there's no clips. So if it doesn't come off super easily, it just means that there's a screw still attached. So keep looking for a screw if you missed it. There's that LED I was telling you about. So what we're going to do here, now see this driver is too big. So I want to go, oh, actually no, that's a Phillips, my bad. So once you go in here, switch to your Phillips. I would go with something smaller, maybe an 00, a 00 size. Let's check that out. Yeah, that's perfect. So 00 for the Phillips. Again, keep your screws organized. I'll have 4 on the front. Now, I have disassembled this completely on the first deck or dock, And that was because I was trying to put it in a 3D printed shell before, which I didn't like, so I ended up going back. I will not be disassembling this that far this time around. But you have one here and one down here. That's for your USB. Now, being that I fully disassembled this last time, I'm not entirely sure if I need to take those apart. So, kind of remembering as I go here. I believe this just separates from that piece. But I can't, yep, okay. So that just separates from that piece, easy. If it doesn't initially put upwards pressure and you have these little slidey mounts and they clip in to the backside like so, like that, and then like that to unengage. So put that off to the side. Now you're almost there. Now you're left with this business, yeah? So now we have to, unfortunately, go a little bit further. Let me see here now. I took off this rear panel last time, and I think I'm going to do the same thing. So there's one more screw back here, and we're going back to our tri-wing. This will expose the motherboard. So that'll just separate. Just kind of work it around. This will have clips, and they're annoying. You want to be very careful. Go nice and slow as you go around, so you don't break clips and you don't snag on anything. So that's the rear of your dock. Set that off to the side. You will now see this. This is the heart of your dock. This is your fan. This is the main PCB board. And let me see here. Okay, so that ribbon cable goes to your fan, and that ribbon cable is your power LED light. Okay? Okay. So, next thing we want to do is undo. I had this this motherboard taken off last time, which enabled me to have the ribbon cable apart, and I was hoping to not have to unscrew that this time around. I might be able to reach the screws by going around the ribbon cable. You just want to really be careful because this thing will go wrong on you rather quickly. So let's just try, yeah? Sake of trying to be efficient. Make sure you're on your Phillips driver again. Okay. Take off this one. Check, let's see. The matching one, is there a matching one on this side? Maybe. Hard to see. But I know this is going to have to come off. Actually, you know what? We might not have to take off that section. Might be able to just be able to do these screws here. Let's try it. What's the worst that happens? Okay, so this side's already coming off. That's good. I wonder then. Oh no, see, that screw is keeping that side on. Damn. Oh well. Easy enough. So we do need to take this part off, is what it is. There. Matching one on this side here. This will be underneath the ribbon cable right here. Again, be very careful of your ribbon cable. All right. Now this should come off, hopefully. Feels like there's a screw on this side that's still holding it down, unfortunately. Yeah, there's one in the top corner, right here. If you can reach it, then awesome. And if not, we'll have to undo the ribbon cable. But it looks like I barely have enough room here. So this should work. Here we are. All right. Now that I got that, this should come off, maybe. Again, it's been a minute. No, still? Really? Again, you don't want to push anything hard. If you're facing any resistance, it means that there's still a screw or a piece of plastic holding it down. I didn't think I had to remove the motherboard again to access this area, but maybe I'm wrong. Sorry, it's been a minute since I've done this. Let's see, are there any other screws under here? It's weird, I don't see any other screws, but I definitely feel it. Definitely feels like something is still there. Ah. Maybe. Yep, there is one. Right there, right where I'm pointing. Sneaky. Sneaky. All right. Now that comes up. Allegedly. There we go. That's coming. There we go. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Again, this cable is incredibly fragile, so don't mess with it. Okay. Now that that's off, we should be able to see what on this side is keeping this together. Yep, there's a screw right there. Right there. And it looks like we'll need to have the motherboard taken off in order to access it. So all this was for naught. It's okay. Let's get this off. Tried cutting corners. Never works. Now, this fan is a bit of a bitch. I really don't want to mess with it because it's a little bit of a pain to get in position. So what I'm going to try to do is just move the motherboard enough to gain access to that one screw. And then we should be good to go. Sorry about the bad view. You'll have one here, 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 and here. So I believe, yep, they're all off. Now you will have to be careful. You have a ribbon cable here, and you have a ribbon cable here. This one will have to be, looks like it's going to have to be disconnected, which is good because we want that one anyway. This will just lift up, okay? There's nothing on the underside or anything like that. There's no thermal paste. And you just need to be extremely careful with this cable. Again, this is the one that I broke the first time around. Lift open that little gate, just like I did. You can use your nail or whatever. Don't pull on the ribbon cable itself. Pull on this part, this brown part, where it has the two notches. It won't take a lot of effort, but you may need a tool. You can use end of a flathead if you want. Just do not scratch like your circuit board or anything like that. Just one little tug, and it'll come right out. Super easy. I said, as it goes back in. There we are. There we go. So. And it looks like I'm going to have to undo the fan cable as well, because there's no room to work with here. So pull back, which is that way on the dark gray tab. Do the same thing. Use a tool if you need to. Push up until that disengages. Now the motherboard should be free completely. Okay. You do not need to separate this heat shield from the motherboard. There is thermal paste on that side. I wouldn't recommend separating it. It does go just back on. It's not like a paste. It's more like a pad, but still it's completely unnecessary, so there's no point in doing that. From here, this is the part you can either break or remove and not have access to the power cable. If you want to take off the power cable, one screw keeps that on right here. But first, let's take care of this pesky little screw that we didn't have access to before here. Right down there. Okay. Now, hypothetically, this should be able to now be removed. Oh, no, we have one more right down in here. Like I said, lots and lots and lots of screws in this thing, man. This thing's like half screws. Okay. All right, now it should come off, hypothetically. Like I said, never force anything. Could be a clip, could be a screw, but whatever it is, you don't want to force it. I forced this when separating this, and that's how I ripped mine. And yeah, maybe it's that screw that needs to be undone here. Let's see. Still feels like something's holding it in. So this piece just fell out. That's okay. It's one of the pieces that we don't need. It's not going to go back on. Ah, I see. There's a sister screw on the other side of the one that we took off before. Like I said, don't force anything. Keep looking for more screws. Doesn't want to come undone. There's a screw most likely holding it back together. Or a clip. It's just this side that I'm having trouble with. This side's now completely free. So I'm just going to keep hunting for more screws. I really don't want to break this one. So I'm just going nice and slow and easy, which is what I'd recommend. I know I don't need to undo the fan, so this is peculiar. Ah, that's right. Push in these little feet things. I believe that might be what's holding it together. There's one on each side. There we are. Just, it'll fall out of place. And then there's one on the opposite side as well. Oh, that's not helping those still. Oh, interesting. Ah, you know what? That might be a screw behind that ribbon cable right here. So that's where it feels like it's... Yep. Found it. So behind the power light cable is a hole. One last screw. Like I said, man, don't pull apart things. Don't force anything. Nice and slow, nice and easy. And just like that, this comes all apart. And this back half is all you'll need. Now, if you want to disconnect this part, like I did, you literally just wiggle this piece back and forth until it snaps. Pretty easy, right? For my purposes, you know what? I'm probably just gonna, well, I don't want to break a second one, so I'm gonna have to undo the other dock, and then I'll use this back plate on my existing one. Or no, I'm sorry. I'll use this power cable on my existing one because I already have this bracket installed. Because this is where it screws here into the shell, there's nowhere for this to mount. So like there would be nothing here behind the clear light to hold this in. I don't know, maybe you can use like tape or something like that, but that's just my 2 cents. So I'm going to put this off to the side. Keep that because that's rather important. And I'm going to start undoing this dock rather quickly. Try to move this over to the side here. But that's basically how you undo that. All you have to do now is reassemble, just without the front fascia pieces. And when you reassemble it, it'll look like this. You'll have this missing area down here and down here, but otherwise it's be nice and all intact. And I just put these feet on the front so it's naturally leaning backwards a little bit. So not that it's ever wanting to fall forwards, but that way it's really not wanting to fall forward, and then you should be good to go. So that's how you uninstall the front panel. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest here myself. Hopefully that helped for those who are asking, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks.